Welcome back, everybody. We have made it to October. We are in the middle of the corn harvest. I'm struggling right now to keep my combine centered because of the dust on the window and the glare from the sun is making it hard for me to see that my head is centered on this row. But this time through the field should fill up all 4 wagons of corn, so we're getting great yield off this corn right now. You can see down there I got 145 bushel on the tank right now. We're about 80% full. We'll be probably around 85 to 86% by the time we get out of the end of the field here. But as you can see down here, all 3 of the wagons are full already. I'm not sure if this will be enough to top off the last wagon or not. Looks like I was skipping a row, so we're going to go ahead and get that quick. On the way, when I'm going west, it's a lot easier to see here because the sun is not glaring, and then I can see the tips of my snouts down there. And I know where I'm at, and I can keep that snout centered on the window, but it's just above the edge of the header down there, so you can see the green for the top of the header, and then you can just barely see the snouts sticking out in front of there. So when we're going east, it looks like I skipped a row over here on this side too. I don't know if I'm going to get them both right here. No. So we'll come back and get that one. So I skipped a row the entire way. And I'm off again. But anyway, so I can see this, I can see the tip of the snout when I'm going west, and it's a little bit easier for me to keep it centered on the row. But when I'm going east, the dirt on the window makes it just hard enough to see that I obviously didn't keep it centered that well. And or maybe I was just off by a row because I skipped a row the entire time, so maybe I just forgot how to count on that one. I don't know. But the soybeans are done over there. A little bit less than we got last year, but if I remember correctly, in year 1 the soybeans came off of the field that's now grass. So the soybeans were on the bigger field. We did fill up both wagons, but I think we only ended up with about 20 or 30 bushel in the back of the truck. So we're gonna hold on to those, and then in the last video, I was trying to, if you remember, I was trying to look at the crop calendar. Well, the reason I couldn't find the crop calendar is because I turned seasonal growth off, and I turned that setting off because if you remember when I tried to plant the short season soybeans, it didn't actually show up. It wasn't programmed in when you could plant and harvest them. So I turned the seasonal growth off to plant them, and I kept it off because I'm going to need it off to harvest them too. So hopefully here in November or December those will be ready, and then we can experiment and see if the sell points will accept those or not, and if not, we just plow them under and accept our losses. But you can see here we got just a little bit of corn left, so I think what I'm going to do, I was thinking about just taking these 4 wagons and dumping them in the silo for the cow feed, but now I'm thinking I might just take 2 of them and put them in the silo, and then go set up the auger and put the rest in the grain bin. That sounds like a better plan, because what I'll do is after harvest is done, I'll fast forward to November, and you guys can watch me feed the cows for the first time, and I'll explain why I don't need as much of the high moisture corn as I did for the silage when I go to feed the cows. Is this all gonna fit? I don't know if I already mentioned it, but I did have extensions added to the Parker wagons, so we do have extensions now on all 4 gravity wagons, so they hold a little bit more than they did last year. Looks like it's all gonna fit. Let me turn this thing off so I'm getting low on fuel, so I'm not gonna let it sit here and run while we go dump. So off. We will go ahead and take the 4630 with the 2 Kilbro wagons first here. So there you can see there's 560 bushel of corn between these 2 wagons here, completely full. Yeah, that should be plenty for the cow feed. So we'll go ahead and take both of these, put them in the silo, then you'll let me, then you guys can ride along as we set up the auger, and then we'll put the rest of the corn in the auger, or rest of the corn in one of the grain bins. There you can see there, off to the right, both of the wagons are full of soybeans, and then there's just a little bit in the truck, but here in a couple months, I'm going to leave that in there for now, and probably just pull that into the Quonset hut. You can see I had some issues driving through here, knocked over some soybeans. And then what I'm going to do when these, what the map is calling short season soybeans, once they're ready, I'm going to harvest them and see if the game will let me fill those on top of the regular soybeans that were already in the truck. And if it doesn't, then I'll put them in one of these wagons and try to take them over to the elevator, see if it'll allow me to sell it. I'm just going to do like 1 wagon load. First, I'm not gonna harvest both entire fields and then try to find out that the game won't let me sell the soybeans. So let me stop here for a second, go over here and turn the 4020 on, get the blower going for us. The silo did run, has been running, so we are up to 24,000 liters of corn silage, 16,000 liters of haylage, and we're now up to 1,800 liters of the corn cob mix for the high moisture corn. So that is coming along great. Now let's see if I can pull up to this. If you remember in the last video, I kind of ran into the blower with the wagons when it came time to unload, so let's see if I can get close enough to unload without taking the blower out this time. Nope, I can't. I'm gonna figure this one out. Now I gotta get the blower line back up again. I think that's part of the problem, is because the blower is on that curb right there, and so it's not sitting square. Alright, let's back this puppy up here. I think that's where it needs to be. We'll find out shortly. Some of this stuff is trial and error. And now I'm not close enough. It's not recognizing that the blower is there and able to unload the corn. Alright, fun times. I might edit this part out then and try to figure it out. But it is a video game, so I want to get some of this raw footage for you guys. I don't want to edit out all these little bloopers and blunders. I actually had one the other day that I didn't catch. I was unloading the last wagon of haylage, and I actually caught the end of the auger there for the silos with the exhaust on the front of the tractor, and it actually flipped the tractor, which then snapped the front axle on the wagon. So that wagon got sold and replaced. Okay, there we go. Now we're going. Alright. Now you can see the blower is blowing it up into the silo. We're going to have probably around 650, almost 700 bushel of this by the time we're done. And I don't know why it just stopped, but it did. What is going on here? See, there you go. Video game for you. Somehow I'm losing my unload trigger. Let's try this again. There we go. One wagon down. Let me straighten out the tractor. Zoom out the camera a little bit to help me. Make sure I can get this second one lined up. And we didn't. Of course not. Alright. Let's do this again. Third time's a charm, right? Yeah, so what I did is I cut it too close, and I caught the tip of that auger with the exhaust on the front of the tractor, and it actually caused the tractor to flip, but the trailer remained attached. So when I came to rest, the hitch of the tractor was underneath, had completely flipped and cracked underneath the front axle, and both front tires were snapped in half. So we sold it and bought a new one. And here we go again. All right. Well, you get the idea here. I'm going to come back and do this later, I think. Let's see if I can get this. Actually, let's see if it'll let me unload this trailer now. Nope, it's not. Oh, are we still close enough? All right. Even after all that, it's going to let me do this? No, because the blower is not lined up, so. All right. Well, we'll fix that later. I'm just going to turn this tractor off. And we're going to go down here. And we are going to see if I can back this one back up. There we go. Well, if it's going to go right there, well, let's try this. Oh yeah, that's one thing with this game. You have to have the engine on to unload a gravity wagon, go figure. Raw, uncut farming simulator footage for you guys, bloopers and all. After all, it's not real life, right? Over here quick, turn 40-20 now. It doesn't need to keep running. And I don't think I'm gonna need all 4 wagons to finish that little bit of corn that's left. Looking at my screen at the top, I'm almost to about 14 minutes here. So we're just gonna record this one straight through until I get these other 2 wagons dumped, and then what I'll do is I'll jump forward to November so we can feed the cows. Go up here, and that looks good right there. Get out and drop these wagons. Get this auger hooked up. this is where it gets interesting too, because there's not a whole lot of space. When I first built this, I was using a little bit shorter auger, but I got frustrated with that auger because trying to find the point to hook the PTO up to the tractor got difficult at times. Get this, ooh, a little bit too tall there. I don't know what happened there. Jump out of here. Go over here. I don't actually have to climb the bin to do this. I can just walk up to the bin here. And that should open the lid on the top. You didn't see it because I have my help menu turned off. But that should have opened the lid on the top. Yes, it did. Now, some of these augers you're able to unhook from the tractor and actually, you actually get inside of them and well, actually, let me try it. Some of these augers you're able to go over here and get inside them and move them by hand. This one's not going to let me do it, so we'll get it back up here. Alright. We actually almost got it here. Straighten this out a little bit more. Lower it down so we can see where we're at. And looks like I need there, and there you can see why I said it's a tight fit, but it gets the job done. So that looks good there. Go unhook it. Looks like it's still lined up there. Now this is the other fun part. Now I have to. Oh, I got it. Now let's jump back in and look, and that's what I was afraid of. That's the other thing it does. It likes to, when you get it hooked up and everything like that, it likes to adjust the angle. Everything looks good there. So now we're gonna teleport, because I can, over to the 5020. We're gonna go put these in the bin, and then I'm going to harvest the remainder of this corn off camera now that we're getting mid-afternoon here, 3 p.m. I got this set to only do basically one day equals an entire month, so I have the time scale turned down to make the days a little bit longer, but that's how I have the time scale set up. So we're at 3 p.m. right now in October, so you could say, you know, we're in the third week of October. The month is 2/3 over. We got to get the rest of that corn out. So should be able to get it out before dark. Go get this dumped, get these 2 wagons back out to the field. I'm going to finish that corn off camera. Then we'll come back in November and finish this video out with feeding the cows for the first time, so you guys can see how that works. Here's a moment of truth. We're going to see if we get another blooper here. Let's see now if the auger is still lined up. There's a way I can show you guys, and I forget what buttons I push, but there's a way that I can show you guys all the triggers so you can see how everything works, where everything needs to be, and I didn't get close enough. Alright. Told you there'd be more bloopers. We're up to 20 minutes on this video, and I think 2/3 of it is Andrew not knowing how to farm. Try this one more time, and if it doesn't trigger it this time, it's because the auger is not lined up properly. there's a trigger at the top of the bin, and then there's a field, a scripted field at the end of the auger, and those two have to line up for the game to recognize that it's there. So should be close enough this time. Oh, let's see. Now let's see if it's gonna work. Corn out. Nothing coming out of the top though, so let's go over here. Double check. I might have to turn the help menu on real quick. Make sure that I don't have to pipe out. There we go. There we go. We got it going. Yeah, so you can see there we're a little bit off. The corn is not quite lined up with the hole, but it's taking it. So we will call that a win. So I'm gonna go get these two wagons dumped, go out and get the rest of the corn, and we will be back when it is time to feed the cows. Alright, it's November, so as promised, we're going to go feed the cows. I actually had to sell off the feed wagon I had originally because it wasn't a mixer, it was just a wagon. And so since the silos I have now don't mix for me, I had to switch it up. So, a couple things here with the Maize Plus. So I got this AgriCart here. You can see right there it's showing the recipes. So there's different recipes for feeding the cows with this mod. This thing goes 15 miles per hour, so I'm just going to drive it. Let me get out of the barn so you can actually see what's going on here. So right now I have it on realistic mixture, and you can see that the only two required ingredients are the corn silage and the haylage. Everything else on there is optional. Third from the bottom, you'll see our corn cob mix. It doesn't need very much. That's why I didn't do a lot of corn. So it only needs about 10%. If I was actually to get out, it'd tell you right there. The max for the CCM there is 10%. I could do 100% straight hay if I wanted to, but I can go anywhere from 10 to 90% on the grass silage and maize silage, but those are the only two that have a minimum. So hopefully we have enough product over here to do this. Now if I wanted to go to the beef cattle mixture, again required clover hay or alfalfa hay, which I don't have, and then maize silage. Again, everything else is optional. Get on here. Young stock, again, then I would have to have straw in there along with hay and silage. And then dairy cattle mix. Silage and hay are the only two main required ingredients there, but since I do not have hay, there's a pig food recipe actually too with requires molasses, mineral feed, and CCM. But we're gonna do this realistic mixture just because I don't have hay. I could put up a silo that turns the grass into hay, but I didn't worry about that now. So you'll see as we load this up, I'm gonna keep the help menu on for this one because it'll actually tell us where we're at. So I should just be able to now, if I'm not mistaken, I should be able to get this cart underneath here. And there it's going to say start filling. Alright, so we're going to go to maize silage first. And we're going to turn on the mixer wagon. Let it start mixing. This is going to take a while, it looks like. But we want to get up to, I think what I'm going to do is 50% on this. So you can see it's going to take a while, but you can see over there it doesn't show it, but it should be coming out of the silos. You can see it coming off of the end of can see it coming off the end of the conveyor there. We're just gonna sit here. It's gonna take us a while. I might have to time lapse this. I didn't even look to see how much we actually have in here, because I fast forwarded it to November and then I didn't go look to see how much we had. Let's go down here and see. Oh, we have 27,000 liters of maize silage, 25,000 liters of grass silage. So we have enough, because this thing only holds. Oh, now it's going. I don't know what happened there. We switched to liters and it. Oh, it's because it's on liters, so it looks like it's going faster, but it really isn't. See what I'm saying? We were at yards, and I went to the production menu, and I come back, and we're back in liters. This thing only holds 30,000 liters, so we will only use, we'll use about 2/3 of the silage that's been made, and 2/3, and just a little bit of the corn cob mix, but then it'll keep running overnight and replenish itself, and there'll be enough. Plus, I don't know how much food these cows will go through in one night as well, or in 24 hours, equivalent of a month. So 30,000 liters is probably quite a bit for 1 month. We're gonna go to 45. Actually, we're gonna go to 50%, because we did make we have a little bit more corn silage than we do haylage. So we're gonna go to 50% on this, and then we'll take it up to about 93, 94%. And then we'll get the rest with the with the corn cob mix. Okay, so we're almost at 50% now. All right, so now I'm gonna go grass silage. Let's pull forward a little bit. And now my logo at the bottom should change me to show that I have mixed ration instead. There it goes. Now at the bottom you can see that the icon changed it back down there from silage. That's the icon for total mixed ration, so that means I have a good recipe, and you can see the percentages up there, so you can, it tells you where you're at, so that it takes some of the guesswork out of it. I know back when I was helping Grandpa on the farm, we always had a clipboard in the tractor to know exactly how many pounds of hay and how many pounds of silage and how many pounds of corn and how many pounds of mineral had to go in the wagon when we were doing the cows. And the same thing for the pigs. Changed every day based on their based on the weight of the cows. You added a little bit more each time. But this is the game's way of doing it. You just give them the same amount every day. We're gonna get to where we're just over 90. Oh, well, we used all the silage there, so, or I'm not under the auger anymore. What just happened? That was weird. I didn't know this was gonna take 10 minutes just to feed the cows, or I would have left the other parts a little bit shorter, but that's alright. The life of an amateur YouTuber, trying to figure these things out. Okay, 91% there. Now we go to CCM. Yeah. I might actually just take us to 95% because we don't have a whole lot of CCM in here. Save some for tomorrow. That's good. And we will top the rest off with a little bit more grass silage. Alright, and now we're full, and now I should be able to drive this bad boy over here back into the barn and feed the cows. Now I don't know how I'm going to do this when it comes time to using the feed muck over there, because this thing isn't tall enough. You can see down there it's just going to throw it out on the ground. Let's see if I can get out here in here without tipping myself over. Ooh, turn the wrong way. Ooh. Alright, now. There's my trigger over there on the other side for feeding the cows. So we'll just go line up. Yep, there we go. So right here, I can just start unloading it. I could make it look realistic and go drive up and down, but we'll just dump it right here. And there we go, we're feeding the cows. So that, I think, is now 7 episodes of The Old School Farmer. We are gonna get through the winter, and we will catch back up with you in spring. But as always, thanks for watching, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you'll get updates when I post the next video. But this is Andrew signing off from Moose Farms Old School. Until next time.